problem.
We copy on ground. We got a bunch of guys about to turn blue.
What you're seeing here is a mirage.
So that's the group. So I guess we could start out real quick with Wendell. Or actually, let me start out real quick before we get to that, just so that people see that the show name makes some sense, a little bit at least. Let me find the article here. Here we go. Yeah, so this is the article why I named
You're more than your successes.
Okay, don't want to hear that.
You're more than your failures.
So yeah, just saw this is the article. Proposed House bill urges NASA to delay putting U.S. boots back on the moon until 2028. So, and if people remember, we've been saying this the whole time. I've told people that, of course, it's 2024 now, but as we get closer to 2024, it'll be moved to 2028, and then 2032, and then 2042. And this is what has been going on since, late 60s. 70s, the same thing was happening. Oh, we're going to go in the 70s. Okay, we'll go in the 80s. Okay, we'll go in the 90s. And it just keeps being pushed back. So that's basically.
You need to update your documentary about going nowhere from 1958.
I know, I need to.
You need to add, every year you're going to add
a new installment to say, okay, here we go again, here we go again, here we go again. So this is a nice artist rendering of an ascent vehicle. Of course, there's flames coming out of this one, and not in the ones that we saw in the 60s, but maybe they're adding that. That's going to be a new millennium kind of flame coming out of there or something. Not sure, but yeah. So again, it's just funny to read these articles, and people. I'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's never a shortage of space material for you to, it's just endless.
It's endless, and again, I talk about it all the time. How easy it is for them to put out press releases and to get in the news, and all these channels that are constantly looking for content, they can definitely get it from NASA because NASA has a great PR team that can put out something new every single day, whatever it is. And, RT covers a lot of things. I saw this one recently. When is this from? Earlier this month. Breathing new life into colonizing the moon. ESA is going to begin producing oxygen from lunar dust, but not just regular lunar dust, of course. Fake simulated lunar dust. So they can simulate this lunar dust, and now they're going to get ready to create oxygen out of it. And they love to talk about this stuff and where their base is going to be. Here's their base. Look at this. You have people inside here in this little dome with trees, and it's just the earth in the background.
This is in the background. No.
What in the background?
No, I believe I was seeing a Jesuit behind the dome. Sorry.
I'm sure there will be.
Just near. Wouldn't it be easier to make oxygen out of the water they found under the ground on the moon?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what they're saying, that the dust has it.
It just makes stuff up all the time. This is a new, somebody came up with this. Yeah. Their propulsion systems are literally coming out of science fiction. I mean, they must be mining. There's a whole, it's almost like the same industry. The creative artists that they're behind it. That's why you have so many models of Star Trek and Star Wars and all that stuff. It's crazy.
It's just so easy. It's so easy to make believe when you're talking about space. It's just, you can say whatever. I mean, really, literally, we've heard them say whatever, right? That there's diamonds that rain on Saturn, and that there's acid rain and
silicon rain.
Silicon rain. I mean, you can say anything. It just it doesn't matter. I mean, these guys have the ability to basically, it's like an open slate, right? It's like, you can just and then when you talk about the space industry and it being larger than movies, TV, music, and video games combined, then you start to realize what's going on here. I mean, it's an open platform. It's very easy to convince the world of anything. So the other one I saw was this one. Russia is going to track Earth-threatening asteroids from robot-inhabited nuclear-powered polar moon base.
What?
Yeah, the moon's south pole will be a good spot for an observatory that, together with space-based telescopes, will help find dangerous asteroids. Russia plans to build one as part of an ambitious lunar base project. It's just these kind of claims have been going on forever and ever. They just keep coming up, and nothing ever happens. And again, it doesn't need to, because why? It keeps the money rolling. It keeps the economies rolling. It keeps the money going to these space industries, and all they have to do is just say something new every 2 or 3 weeks, every 2 or 3 months. Just say something. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're getting ready to do this, even though nothing ever comes to fruition. So
And the fear strategy here is very clear. Look at that picture before, the one with the rocks flying over the city. They like comparing
very
it.
scary.
You know, kids will be memorizing the different asteroids and their names and their routes and, you know, how they look and what's in them and stuff like that. That's part of the curriculum. They control all this information. As long as they control it, like we know with the moon rocks, like they may catch them in Antarctica and they're the first to catalog that piece of geology. Then they can add pressure to it and do different processes and then publish something because they own the journals. And they publish something saying that's from the moon because of this and that. And they come up with different measurements. And that's it. And that stays in the history of it. And everyone has to refer to it.
That's another great part about that American Moon documentary, where at least they're talking to that guy, and he flat out says that they can create these moon rocks, that it would be quite possible to take some sort of ancient rock that hasn't been touched or hasn't been weathered, say from Antarctica, if you want to say that, or from Greenland possibly, whatever, take this rock, put it into some sort of a machine that can either blast it with radiation or do whatever it needs to do to get it to be what they call moon rocks. It's pretty simple, and the guy admits that. So, and you know, they've been talking about the ISS, that it will be, you know, I think originally it was supposed to be 2020, then that got moved to 2024 when they would take it down. Now it says the life expectancy of the ISS is clear. It's 2028, and the modules are good to last for 15 to 20 years. Is it worth sending them to 3 or 4 years and later sink it with the entire station? I'm not so certain. He explained this is talking about the guy from Russia. Because, again, they just keep pushing this out, even though we've all admitted or at least reported on the fact that nothing is happening on the ISS. So, Iru, one thing I wanted to ask you about, did you see the thing that everybody's talking about, the 1 take, 1 hour ISS?
Yes, I saw it.
What did you think of that?
The first thing is it's not still a live feed.
Of course not.
And it's done. I mean, I say before, many times before, that there are really good things made by NASA because they are not so dumb, you know, when they have a lot of time to post-product the final result.
Right.
But the thing is, it's not compatible with live feed. I mean, if you have that kind of freedom, with that kind of fresh, you know, behavior from the astronaut, you know, the woman making sports and the guys talking each other and blah, blah, blah. Why you fail so badly in the live feed when you start getting, you know, with the cables in front and start, you know, all that kind of thing is not compatible for me. I mean, it's clearly we are still, you know, everyone out there can still compare video and, you know, the footage that they present in the live feeds with the supposedly, you know, 1 take shot, but, you know, who knows how they take to edit that piece of video. So if you start compare that, it's immediately something is bad, you know, something is wrong in the way that this guy operates in live mode in comparison with the post-production feed.
Mm-hmm. And it just makes no sense to me as far as if they have satellites like they say they do, and there's, you know, I don't know, 3,000 of them, 4,000 of them, whatever. I don't know what the new
satellites.
The new number of the year is or whatever. You can look up that. You know, that's a fun thing just to search on Google and try and find out how many satellites there are. You'll find numbers, you know, 15,000, 4,000, 1,000. There's 8,000. There's 20,000. You'll just find any number you want. But I've never understood how they cannot do live feeds like that. I mean, why would that need to be, 1 take, or then just why can't you do it live? And again, even if they said they were doing it live, which they don't, you never see anything out the window that would be able to prove that it's live anyway. So, of course, as it's...
No, because the only way to prove that it's real, you know, really live video coming from the ISS, you know, for getting happy a flat earther is going to be a lot of things. It's not just enough because you go outside, because you need to get something to compare
Right.
If you're going to go outside in the window on the ISS, well, go outside, I don't know, in particular moment when, light of the city go off, a big city go off with the lights, or something that you can compare here on Earth. Because if not, we are still in the film situation.
Right.
It's a film movie situation without the technical orientation of correcting the color to present more dramatic, scenes or things like that. They use this kind of clean look, like Blair Witch or that kind of things to go more realistic, because they
Moving
don't
a lot.
Exactly, they take out the visual concept and the visual language of films. So for the mind of the people, it's like, okay, these guys are up there working, and well, they produce this one shot because the flat earthers are asking for that, right?
Yeah, but we caught the cuts, and at the end there's the BS, and from that you cannot get around the BS.
I saw it. Yes.
The asteroids hitting, they closed the cupola because the asteroids will be hitting it, and over all these years, how many asteroids have hit this thing? Can they always just use duct tape? And then there's a big problem, I thought, is that the Earth was glitching. It was kind of flickering outside the cupola. And it didn't move. That's what Bob pointed out. Like, it wasn't moving as the ISS is supposed to be moving.
Yes, they have and not just that. If you go to Quentin Tarantino movies and other directors, and you go behind the scenes, you can see how they, for example, they present as one shot, maybe 12-minute scene, but in reality, it was cut like 4 times. But they use all this choreography. With the character, passing in front, or maybe just an object that cover one little, or they use simply CGI offset to cover the lens for exactly for 1 second, and then you they did that. Start recording again. So there is a lot of techniques in cinema. Of course, in a movie, you are not going to have one shot from 1 hour, because the movie itself is around 1 hour and a half, 2 hours. So you're not going to do that. But if you want to, you can do it.
Yeah. Jeran found a part where it did exactly what you're saying, where one camera focus on very close up on a wall, and the other camera as well at the same time. And that was a moment where they can do the switch.
And then you have the computer to do the rest. I mean,
make it perfectly smooth.
Something that really get fun, and I presented in Madrid was, and I share in the comment section like 3-4 weeks ago, was about a live feed from NASA, just a rocket launch, and the guy, the official user from NASA, in the chat from YouTube, asking for a CGI artist, and the guy said, at the beginning I want to be an astronaut, but now I want to be a CGI artist working to NASA. And that was real. I mean, I have the capture, that frame. I am not saying that the guy is going to work with NASA is going to participate in all this kind of scam. I believe they have very, very selected people to do that. It's the same thing as satellite and or military operations, but they can do whatever they want. Of course, the problem is when they go live. When they go live, they don't do nothing at all. If you want to compare with this kind of 1 hour takes.
No, they stand there in front of the camera with what could easily be a green screen behind them, and answer pre-recorded questions, or at least they know the questions ahead of time, which I've shown before. In fact, the questions are sometimes taped to the side wall, which we've seen. And these are supposed to be questions coming from children. Of course, this is all pre-planned. It's all pre-discussed, and even that they can barely do live. They don't fly through the station. They don't have a camera following them. But again, like I was saying about the satellites, if you have all these satellites, it would be very easy to produce that kind of live footage, but for some reason they simply can't. Mile High Scribs sent a super chat. Thank you very much for that. He says, I missed like 6 zeros I missed like 6 zeros, but this will get your NASA budget started, bro. Oh, I get it now. Right. Although NASA is $56 million a day, and it might be more than that now. I think we're getting closer to 60. But so thank you for the $5.20. And there's, just a few zeros missing, but not that bad. I did see you talk about funny stuff. I mean, I'm just reading down here to the comments, and I don't know, it makes me so happy when I start seeing comments like this. This guy here says, space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Isn't that great? And, somebody says, the Hollywood basement, though, is in the USA, which is on Earth, which is in space. Oh, boy. Right, because Russia, China, France, Israel, and the UK don't have radio telescopes and satellite telemetry and didn't watch us go there. Yeah, they watched them go there on TV. They watched them go there off of a video feed of a CRT monitor. Somebody else asked, what's the point of colonizing the moon if we can't live in peace on Earth? Good quality comment. This person says, based on the sample of the moon rock containing a fossil, right, the petrified wood that was donated to the Netherlands by the U.S. Embassy. This person says, I remember that. Simulated moon dust used to produce oxygen, similar to simulated food like tofu or simulated democracy offered by the U.S. regime. What a pathetic waste of time and money. Yes, that's
good
great
comment.
This person, do not be silly. There is no lunar soil. It's all science fiction. This person says, you might want to check who the silly one is here. I'll tell you who I think the silly one is. It's 50 years ago, we were told at Space Mountain in Disney, Florida, that we'd be riding roller coasters on the moon in the near future. That was the first time the hoax of space was presented to me. So it's just funny. I mean, there's more comments calling this out than there is people talking about the greatness of and this is what's going to happen. This is going to happen over time. I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm noticing it more